Hello and welcome everyone to today's session. As we all know, optional plays a very important role in your final selections in the UPSC as well as state PCS examinations. So in today's introductory lecture, we are going to discuss about some important features about anthropology as your optional subject. In this particular session, you will understand what are the basic tenets of the syllabus, how actually you can tackle this subject, and how it can be a very important determining factor in your rank. So, welcome to my class, and let us first see what is the agenda for today's lecture. So, first we will discuss what is anthropology all about, how choosing anthropology as an optional can help you to get a level playing field, and a detailed discussion on syllabus of both the papers. Now, before we begin with the actual subject, let us first understand why choosing the correct optional is very important and how this optional can help you ace the UPSC examination. So, instead of just theoretically explaining you the importance of this subject, let me show you the mark sheet of a topper and compare it with others. Okay, this is a mark sheet of topper number 1 of 2008. The candidate has scored total 883 marks in mains examination, out of which the total of the 4 GS subjects was 402. The score for optional was 362 and the score for essay was 119. Okay, so if you just compare it statistically, we can clearly understand that the total for 4 GS papers here is 402, which makes it average 100 per subject, correct? Whereas the total for optional and essay is 481. So mind you friends, this difference is really huge. 481 and 402, this difference is really huge and it can actually help you be in or out of the race. Okay, so this is one example which sets why anthropology is really helpful and scoring, because this candidate had chosen anthropology as his optional. Let me show you the mark list of one more topper. The general studies marks are 448. Okay, optional score is 361. Essay score is 133. Again, 4 GS total is 448. Optional plus essay is 481. Again, the difference is very huge. And again, this is an example of anthropology as an optional. Okay, so considering the mark lists of these two people, let us now come to the point why to choose anthropology. The first and foremost important reason is 3S. Okay, what is 3S? Simple, sorted and static syllabus. If you go through the syllabus given by UPSC, it is quite simple and straightforward, static and sorted. There is no complication. Okay, and to support this 3S, there is another S which is very important, that is study material. Because if you don't have enough study material, it becomes really difficult to prepare for 500 marks paper. So along with these 3S, another important S is study material, which is sufficiently available in this particular case. Next important reason why this can be a good optional is it requires no particular graduation background. Even if you belong to science, commerce, engineering, chartered accountancy, architecture, or any particular graduation for that matter, anthropology can be a very good optional for you. Okay, and not only that, one important deciding factor if to choose some subject or not is to check its overlap with the 4 general studies paper, because the effort that you're going to put for this particular subject for these 500 marks, it has to be helpful for you and overlapping for you for your GS as well. If that is the case, only then you can, combine your preparation of anthropology along with GS. So all these basic factors definitely makes anthropology a very lucrative optional. Now, let us understand why it is also going to help you in your exam apart from the optional part. Okay, now knowledge of anthropology is very useful for essay writing. Reason being, see, all of us know that we have to attempt a 250 marks paper for essay and it needs wide and vivid thinking. If you belong to the anthropology stream, it is definitely going to give you an extra point of view in everything that you write. So that is definitely going to help you increase your score in essay. Not only that, it is also very helpful in the interview preparation. And as I already mentioned in my last slide, it has a great overlap with all the 4 GS subjects. Let me explain that in detail once again. As far as GS1 is concerned, it has overlap with society, ancient history, and post independence history. For GS2, it has overlap in social justice and governance. GS3 for disaster management, and GS4 for case studies. And not only that, it is not only going to help you in your mains paper, but also in your prelims part as far as the biology questions are concerned. Because as you must be aware, there is a core part of biology also included in anthropology. So basically, considering anthropology as your optional can help you in scoring better in all the 3 stages of this exam: prelims, mains, as well as your interview phase. And definitely this is a good optional, that is why. Now, suppose you clear this exam and you join the services. I'm sure this optional is also going to help you being a very good officer. Why? Because it helps you to better understand the ground realities of the Indian society. Because just as you will see in the next slide immediately, paper 2 talks thoroughly about the social situation and how the society and the civilization in India has developed over the period of time. So being an officer, you always have to be in contact with the public. You have to deal with all the problems that the public is facing, and for that you need to be very thorough with the ground realities. So as an anthropology student, it is going to help you understand the ground realities in a better manner. Not only that, you are also going to be very efficient in solving the tribal issues if you get a posting in such areas. You can better manage them and better solve them as well. Okay? It also helps you to have insights about the human psychology and the nature, thus being a better problem solver. Because for any problem, you need to first understand the root cause, and only then you can provide solutions. So being an anthropology student, you are going to be very good in understanding the human psychology, the mob psychology, and thus you can definitely be better than others in problem solving. Okay? One more important advantage is it is going to help you to bridge the gap between the primitive and the modern societies, thus achieving equality. Because if you go through the syllabus, and we will definitely go through it in next 2 to 3 minutes, you will understand that our focus in anthro is on both the societies, the traditional primitive societies as well as the modern societies. And last but not the least, it is going to help you in efficiently designing and implementing social policies. Okay, so mind you friends, you need to choose an optional which is helpful in scoring good marks as far as the optional of 500 marks is concerned, which helps you in scoring better in the prelims, in the mains, as well as in your interview, where it also helps in writing better essays. And not only it is relevant to the exam, but it also helps you while you enter the services. And I think no other subject is as lucrative as anthropology if we consider all these 3 aspects. Now, let us go ahead and see the overview of this subject. As you can see clearly in this particular diagram, we are standing here, human beings, okay? And these are the various important aspects of us being alive. We require polity, we require a society, we require economy, we require a proper culture, we require history, we require environment, and apart from these, we require other things like geography, okay, and many more such things. So I'll just mention etc. A person throughout his journey of life comes across all these different types of aspects while he lives in a society. We cannot just skip any of these aspects if we want to stay alive and have a good life. We are a social animal, that is why we need the company of a society. In order to maintain the society and to govern and have law and order, we need a proper polity. We need an economy to better manage the available resources. We have a historical background which talks about the roots to which we belong. It is also supported by a cultural history and, of course, the environment in which we live. And anthropology is a subject which is going to tie all these branches together. Mind you, friends, no subject out of this is skipped in anthropology. That is why, just to understand as a concept, we can quote that anthropology is a 360-degree analysis of a human being. Now, let us try to understand the literal meaning of this word. Anthropology can be broken into two particular words. First one is anthropos, which means human or human beings, and logos, which means scientific study. So, the literal meaning of the word anthropology is the scientific study of human beings or the human race as such. Okay, this is not originally an English word, it is a Greek word which means scientific study of human beings. So, when we are talking about the existence of human being, we talk about its being, its belonging, and its becoming. Physical aspects, social aspects, community aspects, again, physical aspects, psychological aspects, spiritual aspects, practical aspects, growth, and leisure. So, anthropology is going to focus on all these 360-degree analysis for the entire human race. Thus, we can safely say that it is the holistic study of mankind, his evolution, and his behavior using all other subjects like history, sociology, economics, polity and governance, biology, psychology, etc. Mind you, friends, this is the only subject which does not leave any of these aspects of human beings. We are, as an anthropology student, we are interested in every and each of these aspects: the history, the sociology, the economics, the polity, biology, etc. Now, let us come to the detailed discussion of the exam pattern. As we all know, paper 1 consists of 250 marks, paper 2 consists of again 250 marks, thus making a total of 500 marks. Paper 1 can be broadly divided into 4 different aspects: physical or biological anthropology, socio-cultural anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and linguistic anthropology. And paper 2 can be broadly classified as traditional Indian society, tribal society and culture, tribal issues and solutions, and contribution of anthropologists, thinkers, and administrators. So that is how we can broadly divide paper 1 and paper 2 into its subparts. Now let us thoroughly understand topics of paper 1 as well as paper 2. Paper 1.1 deals with the meaning, scope, and development of anthropology as a branch, its relationship with other disciplines, and main branches of anthropology. Point 2 talks about the nature of culture, society, marriage, family, and kinship. Okay, so all the basic aspects of our culture, of our social being. Point 3 talks about the economic organization in the simple society, how the economic resources are managed in the day-to-day life. Next point discusses the political organization and social control in the simple society. Then we talk about religion and its various aspects and anthropological theories as given by various thinkers. Okay, so this is the first half of syllabus of paper 1 as given by the UPSC. Next, culture, language and communication. This branch talks about linguistic anthropology. Point 8 talks about the different research methods used by thinkers and anthropologists, human genetics, concepts of human growth and development, the relevance of menarche, menopause, and other bio-events of fertility, and last but not the least, applications of anthropology in reality. Okay, so if you broadly see the syllabus points of paper 1, you will understand that this can be subdivided into 4 parts as we have already seen. First is the physical or biological anthropology. Second is the socio-cultural anthropology. Third is linguistic anthropology. And number 4 is archaeological anthropology. Okay, so ये है आपका broad division of syllabus paper 1. Let us see what are the topics for paper 2. Evolution of Indian culture and civilization. Paper 2 is going to focus mainly upon India, its society, its culture and the development. Next, demographic profile of India, demography, which is a part of human geography and various aspects of demography. Caste system in India, emergence, growth and development, village and its evolution, because even today we are aware that 65% of our population stays in the rural areas or in villages, so we cannot just ignore this particular part. Tribal situation and problems in India, concepts like ethnicity, conflicts and political developments, impact of Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Christianity on the tribal society. So basically effect of different religions on the tribal society, history of administration of tribal India, role of anthropology in the tribal and rural development, and concepts like regionalism, communalism, ethnic and political movements. So if you broadly divide paper 2 into subtopics, you will realize that we can divide it into things like basic culture and civilization of India, development of villages, effects of religion on tribal societies, how the administration has been developed in our country, and then important concepts like ethnicity, demography, regionalism, communalism and political movements. So quite interesting syllabus points, as you can see, which is going to give you a clear idea and deeper understanding of our society as such. And that is why initially I've mentioned that it is going to help you in your essay writing as well as your interview preparations. Now, just for example, let us see the details of Unit 1. Unit 1 talks about the meaning, scope and development of anthropology. Now let me tell you what is going to be the pedagogy for teaching for us. See, the topic will be covered as follows. First, we will discuss the actual topic. Then we will discuss a few important previous year's questions and extra practice questions related to it. And last but not the least, we will also go through some value addition topics. Okay, just for example, let's go through the meaning of anthropology. As we have already seen, anthropos plus logos, which means scientific study of human beings. Okay, so ये हो गया आपका meaning. Now, let us go through one definition given by anthropologists. Now, you'll find many definitions given by many anthropologists. Just for example, I have taken one definition of anthropologist A.L. Kroeber. Anthropology is the most humanistic of the sciences and the most scientific of the humanities. So that is how anthropologists actually define this branch. Okay. It is most humanistic of the sciences and most scientific of the humanities. One anthropologist has also described this as mirror of man. Mirror of man. So that is also one short but sweet definition of anthropology as given by anthropologist, which is trying to tell us that there is no aspect of human being which will be skipped in this particular subject. And that is why you better understand the human race right from its roots. Now, let us see what is the scope of this subject. The scope is theoretical as well as applied, and because of existence of both, the overall scope of the subject is very wide. Now, let us see what is the theoretical scope. Physical, in which we will study about biology, human evolution, human variations and the genetics. Cultural, even more deeper scope, prehistoric culture. Archaeology, paleontology, ethnology, social studies, economy, religion, art and folklore. Okay, and how these two things are actually linked to each other? By mental development. Okay, now this particular diagram also shows what are the different sub branches of the four main branches of anthropology. Biological can be further subdivided as paleoanthropology, primatology, human genetics, population genetics, molecular anthro, medical anthro, epidemiological anthro, ecological anthro, etc. Okay, similarly, socio-cultural, archaeological, and linguistic. So, sociocultural consists of socioeconomic, psychological, political, legal, and demography. Archaeology has many more branches, as you can see on the screen: prehistoric, protohistoric, and linguistic will have historical linguistic, descriptive linguistic, social linguistic, etc. And apart from these four branches, the most practically applied thing is the applied anthropology branch. For example, nutritional anthropology, sports anthropology, cultural resource management, etc. So, this particular slide can help you understand how wide the scope of anthropology exists as a particular branch. Okay, now let us go through one previous year question on this particular topic. Write a short note on the relevance of anthropology. So you are expected to explain how anthropology is relevant today as a branch. So what should be your introduction, what should be your body part, and what should be your conclusion? Just the basics. So to introduce the answer, we can begin the answer by giving a definition as given by any anthropologist. Okay, body part में क्या आएगा? 5 to 6 points which highlight how relevant anthropology is in today's world. Or the second aspect can be writing it branch wise. Okay, the diagram that we saw in the initial slide, even that can be used. For example, physical, sociocultural, linguistic, archaeological, etc. etc. And what should be the conclusion? It should be short but sweet and unique conclusion which will highlight how it is relevant in today's life. For example, this should be my answer. This can be one of the styles of writing my answer where I have used the branch wise approach. I will highlight the importance in each and every branch: sociocultural, physical, linguistic, as well as archaeological. Okay, and as I already said, the conclusion should be short, sweet, but unique. For example, this can be one of the examples of conclusions. Anthropology as a science is unique due to ingredients like holism, participant observation, cultural relativism, etc., which makes it relevant to today's world. That is how you can conclude. See, this is just one type or one method of conclusion. This may not be perfect, but this can be one of the important and impressive conclusions. Now, next topic that we had to see in Unit 1 was development of humans. So this is one introductory picture or depictive picture which shows how we developed from apes to the modern Homo sapiens. As you can see here, there have been changes in the skull structure, in the spinal cord, in the tools. Just observe their hands, in the tools that we have been using, as well as the erectual posture. Now, as far as the timeline of development is concerned, you can just have a look how it started in the 18th century and how it eventually became a better and more wider branch. Now, this is just one of the examples or interesting ways through which you can represent your data and make your answer unique. For example, if the question demands development of biological anthropology, maybe you can draw such a pie chart or a diagram instead of just writing it in a paragraph. And in my classes, I'm going to teach you all these shortcuts and interesting methods to draw these diagrams as well. Now, let us see what are the value addition topics which are actually repetitively asked by UPSC and are not directly mentioned in the syllabus. So these are the value addition topics which you need to prepare along with the main topics. For example, the topic that we discussed right now, Unit 1.1, meaning, scope and development of anthropology. These two are the important value addition topics for this particular unit: nature of anthropology and approaches. Now, this diagram shows you what are the different approaches of learning anthropology: holistic approach, biocultural approach, microscopic approach, cultural relativism, historical approach, etc. So in our classes, we will be discussing everything in detail, and I will give you everything point wise with a conceptual clarity, so that you can use this data as it is in your paper. Next, nature of anthropology. See, there is a debate in the international community if anthropology is a science or it is a social science. So how you can represent it? By simply drawing this diagram. For example, there are a few thinkers who consider it as a natural science, and of course there are some reasons for it. And there are a few people who believe that it is a social science. There are a few anthropologists who believe that it is history, and then there are other people who believe it is somewhere between the natural and social sciences. So see, there is a confusion or conflict of opinions as far as the nature of this branch is concerned, and this is how you can actually show it in an impressive manner. Now, let us see one previous year question based on this topic. How do you situate anthropology in social sciences? And uska jawab hai ye. You have to write this. UPSC is wanting you to explain where actually anthropology stands as a unique branch. So I hope once you understand this particular topic in detail along with the examples and the theories, you will be in a position to also write this particular question. Now, as I already mentioned, we are also going to practice some questions. Write a short note on anthropology in the service of humanity, and these questions are based only on unit 1.1. Critically examine the role of anthropology in contemporary India. Write a note on the scope of anthro. Trace the development of anthropology. So with eventual writing practice, you can definitely attempt these questions. Now, let us understand what is the importance of previous year's question. First and foremost important thing is previous year questions are 60% repeated directly or indirectly. Okay, just for example, there was a question in 2014 based on unit 8. Write a note in 150 words about the fieldwork tradition. This question was repeated in 1985 as well as 2011. Similarly, critically explain the anthropological approaches to religion, repeated in 2011, 2016 as well as 2019. Okay, critically examine the role of anthropology in contemporary India, 2014. Same was repeated in 1980s. So this is a clear-cut example of why you need to be thorough with the previous year questions, because 60 to 70% is going to be repetition, and you need not worry about what to write in this if you're well prepared. Next, UPLC also loves to ask questions on a few topics, for example, racism, cultural relativism, etc. And somewhere or the other, they are repeated every year. So, smart hard work is preparing these topics thoroughly. Also, you can easily predict future questions if you are thoroughly prepared with previous year questions of last 40 years. Okay, by observing the different trends and repetitions of questions. Now, what are going to be the deliverables in our particular course? We will be discussing completely the syllabus in exhaustive nature. We have done it after a thorough analysis of past papers as well as of different commissions in UPSC. We will be detailed indexing these papers and these questions and syllabus. We will tell you which topics are more important and need to be focused. And we will equip all this with data, facts, flowcharts, etc. And I am sure it will be a sufficient content for you to prepare your subject of 500 marks. Now, these are a few specimens of how our notes actually will be. This is for topic number 10, human growth and development. These are a few handwritten notes which I am displaying just for you to understand how do we make our short notes. Okay, this is just for your basic understanding. See, diagrams like this or maps. Also, we will teach you how to make short notes, summarizing everything in 2 to 3 pages, so that both the papers will be condensed in around 120 to 150 pages. Okay, this will help you for revision, quick revision, and it will boost your confidence and recollection during your exams. Now, for example, these are the samples of short notes of unit 1. Instead of writing everything in detail, you can simply draw a diagram like this. Okay? See, all these are diagrams which are examples of short notes which we will be dictating in the class as well as teaching you how to draw them. 1 page diagram which shows the nature of anthropology instead of writing everything in detail. Also, we will give you some sample model answers. during our answer writing module as well. And all these are previous year UPSC questions from various units, which we have bifurcated topic wise, as you can see on the screen. And that is how joining this particular branch and choosing this particular optional can be very beneficial for you. I hope this session was really helpful for you to understand the basics of anthropology as an optional. I hope it has also cleared your doubts about how our classes are going to be conducted. For more information and other details of our course, please see the description box. We have posted our contact number as well as Google form link for all those who are interested or for those who have any kind of queries. We would love to help all these parents all over India for better preparation of their optional and making this exam a definite success. Thank you for joining this class and thank you for watching the video. Keep subscribing, keep loving, happy studying, and see you all soon. Thank you.